You're listening to the Sabrina Philipp podcast, episode 4. In this episode, I reveal the 4 shifts you need to make if you want to scale to 20K cash months in your business. These are the exact same strategies I share with my 6-figure clients as they work their way towards scaling to multiple 6 figures.
You're listening to the Sabrina Philipp podcast. In this show, online business coach and self-made millionaire Sabrina Philipp shows you how to do entrepreneurship your way. She moved to Bali with $800 in her bank account and just 1 year later had scaled her business to 7 figures. Sabrina has been featured in Forbes, Business Insider, Goldcast, and Cosmopolitan. Using her signature intentional, manageable, profitable framework, Sabrina helps women make millions online. Currently traveling the world, tune in each week as she reveals the best tips, tricks, and strategies for creating the intentional life and business of your dreams. Here's your host, Sabrina Philipp.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Sabrina Philipp podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can start scaling your business to 20K months. Now, what we're really going to be diving into is the mindset shifts and the business shifts that you need to be taking in order to hit that next level in your business. What got you to 10K isn't necessarily what's going to get you to 20K. Sure, you might be doing some more of the same, like posting on social media and marketing your offers and, having high ticket sales and things like that. But there needs to be another level of things that we're introducing in order to get to that next level. I always have people ask me, what's the secret? What's the secret? What did you shift? What did you do differently? And with all things in life, there's usually not just one thing that you did. But today, what I am going to break down for you are 4 things, 4 shifts that you can do to help you scale your business to 20K months. Now, 20K months is something that I hit in my business pretty quickly, pretty early on. So I had scaled my business to 7 figures within the first year of coaching. So I was moving through these stages really quickly. I got to 10K pretty quickly, 20K, 50K, and then 100K pretty quickly. But what I noticed is that with each level, there were different things that I needed to shift. So when I was trying to get from 10K to 20K months, where I was at in my business is I was starting to get capped out with one-on-one offers. So I was selling out my private coaching and I was getting to a point where I was getting frustrated because I had sold out my one-on-one at lower pricing than what I could have been charging at that point. And I was completely capped out on income and I needed to find a way to bring in more money. So that shift from 10K to 20K, really what it is about is scaling. It's about finding ways to make more money, because most likely you're probably capped out. You're also probably not having a lot of support in your business. Maybe you have one person helping you out with general admin tasks and answering emails and things like that, but it's probably not a ton of support. So the shift from 10K to 20K, overall, if we were to sum it up in one thing, it's about scaling. It's about getting to that next level. It's about getting help, and it's about finding ways to work smarter, not harder. Now, there are 4 shifts that I'll be breaking down for you today. So I'm going to walk you through these 4 shifts that I went through that allowed me to scale to 20K months, and also the same shifts that I work with my clients on in programs like the Bali Mastermind. Now, what I want to go ahead and say before we get into those 4 shifts is that we are not trying to go here for one big month. We're not trying to be one-hit wonders here. We're not trying to have a big launch, make 20K, and then the next month be making 6K, right? We really want to get to consistency. My approach to business coaching is all about getting you to consistent, stable, recurring revenue. And that is what that shift to 20K months is about. Remember, it's about scaling. Scaling needs to be stable, it needs to be intentional, it needs to be manageable, and it needs to be profitable. So the first shift that you need to make in order to scale your business to 20K months, to take it to that next level, is to have a high ticket offer and be able to sell it out. For a lot of people listening to the podcast episode right now, that is most likely going to be a private coaching package. So if you have, let's say, a 6-month private coaching package and you want to get to 20K months, we either need to be charging high 4 figures or we need to even be charging 5 figures for that program. Now, if one person pays in full or 2 people pay in full and you have a 20K month, but then the next month you're down to 5K, that doesn't really do anything huge for you. But if we have it sold out and we have it recurring, that is going to be the game changer for your business. So a high ticket offer, a lot of people ask me, Sabrina, how do I sell a high ticket offer? How can I get someone to invest $10,000 into me? The question I want you to be asking yourself is, how can you invest $10,000 worth of value into that person. Now, the idea with everything in life, whenever we make investments, is we're looking for ROI. We're looking for a return on investment. Now, there are some things we're going to buy in life, like purses and clothing, that really the ROI is just enjoyment and entertainment, and it gives us something that makes us feel good in that moment. But when it comes to business investments or even life coaching, relationship coaching, health coaching, we are looking for some sort of return. So for me, I always like to think, is the person going to get at least 10 times the ROI of investing in my programs? If that's the case, then I do feel good and comfortable about the pricing. Now, if you've heard me ever talk about structuring programs before, you're going to be really familiar with this concept of transformation process structure. Now, transformation process structure is a 3-step system that I created that helps you create any sort of offer. Now, this is going to apply for low ticket offers, but today we're going to be using it to look at high ticket offers. So if we were going to go into that first mindset shift, that first business shift of scaling to 20K months, of creating a high ticket offer and being able to sell it out, then we're going to think, okay, transformation. What's the highest level transformation that I can offer my clients? And we're going to start there. Instead of trying to say, okay, well, I want to charge $10,000 for a coaching package, or I want to charge $20,000 for a mastermind, forget about the container. Let's start with transformation. What is the highest level transformation that you can offer a potential client? Start there. Let's say for me, my highest level transformation is I help women scale to 7 figures. I've helped multiple women scale to 7 figures this year alone. So that is my highest level transformation. Okay, process. Process is the second step in the system. What is the process that that client needs to go through with me in order to get that transformation? Process might be things like hiring more support. Maybe they need to uplevel their mindset. Maybe they need to improve their sales skills. Maybe they need a more consistent marketing strategy. What are all of the things that they need to theoretically do or move through or accomplish or tackle in order to get to that transformation, right? So if we're talking transformation 20K months, part of that process are the shifts that we're talking about in today's podcast episode. All of the 4 shifts that I'm going to be explaining to you are part of the process of getting to that transformation. Now, once you know that transformation and you're super clear on the process, then you can look into the structure. Now, the reason why it's important that we do it this way is that if you want to have a sustainable business that is making 20K months recurring consistently, or 50K months, 100K months, you need to have a quality product that delivers results for your clients. So after we go through that transformation and that process, then we can look at structure. So for a lot of people, the high ticket offer structurally is most likely going to look like a long-term coaching package. Or it could even be a consulting package or maybe a high level done for you service, but it is a very typically hands-on invested program on your part as well as theirs. So structure might be 6 months of private coaching with weekly calls, and in between they have Voxer access or email access or something like that. But really, if you want to create that high ticket offer, we always have to start with transformation, and we need to have that process so we know how we can deliver on that transformation. You don't necessarily need to tackle one piece of the process every single week with your clients or every single month, but it does give you a benchmark that you can measure against and look against to kind of gauge their progress and see how they're doing toward that ideal transformation. Because ultimately, if you do have a high quality, high ticket offer, you are not going to have to stress so much about selling it because your client results will do the selling for you. Now, that first shift that we're talking about to getting to 20K months, having a high ticket offer and being able to sell it out, there are 2 pieces here. The first one is having the high ticket offer, which you can create by going through my transformation process structure system. The second piece is being able to sell it out. Now, part of this is going to come from your organic marketing activities and your efforts of posting on Instagram and emailing your list and showing up in Facebook groups and doing live streams and all of those things. That's huge. That builds community. That creates attraction marketing. That helps you bring your ideal clients to you. If you're already at 10K months and you're trying to figure out how to scale to 20K months, most likely you have a pretty clear message. You probably have an understanding of who you are and what makes you different. So we don't necessarily need to go into that piece so much, but what we do need to go into is, are we messaging the right way? So if we want to sell high tickets, we need to make sure we're speaking to our ideal client for that offer. I always say that you have a different ideal client for every offer, because my ideal client for that seven-figure transformation is different than my ideal client for my 6-week DIY course. They're completely different people. They are just on different steps of the journey. I'm sure the person signing up for the course will one day be ready for that higher level transformation, but at the moment they're not, right? So if you are going to be having that high ticket offer, you need to be messaging toward that. So let's say, for example, you're trying to sell a 6-month, $12,000 private coaching package. You're probably not going to be using language like, take the first step, get started today. Everything could change right now for you if you just get started, if you just take a leap of faith. The people who are going to be investing in high ticket offers, so usually 5 figures or above, have probably invested before, right? They don't necessarily need to hear a message about taking a leap of faith. They need to really hear about that transformation. And that's why we go through TPS. That's why we go through transformation process structure. So you can really lean in and explain to them what is it that you are going to help them accomplish and shift into through your program. So being able to sell that high ticket offer is making sure you're messaging to the right person in the right way. And we also need to get better at sales calls. Now, there's a lot of hate about sales calls I see on the internet these days, and it makes absolutely no sense to me because if you don't want to do sales calls, that's cool. The cool thing about business is you get to do it however you want to do it. But what I have found is that sales calls are not just a great way for people to sign up in my programs and for them to decide if they want to work with me, but it helps me decide if I want to work with somebody else. Because if someone is going to be in my high ticket offers, they're going to have access to my energy. And I don't want someone in my space who's going to be an energetic drain. And it is unreasonable for me to assume that I'm just a psychic who can gauge from a few Facebook messages whether or not someone is going to annoy me for the end of time, right? But I can get a much better gauge on that if I get on the phone with them. So we need to reframe the way we perceive sales calls, not necessarily as something that's annoying or takes a bunch of time or ineffective. But if we get really good at them and we're able to weed out people who aren't a good fit, then sales calls actually serve us in scaling to 20K months. Sales calls get us more of what we want. So make sure you get training on sales calls. Make sure you have a structure. I have a 7-step sales call structure that I use for all of my sales calls. I don't need to treat it like a script. I don't need to read word for word, but I know what I want to take my clients through, my potential clients through on that sales call. And the basic outline is I'm just going to take control of that call, let them know that this is not a free coaching call. We're going to figure out if we're a good fit together, figure out about their pain points, talk to them about potential transformation, help them understand that I'm going to be the one that helps them get there, talk to them about the program, determine if they're a good fit. Right. If you are going through that sales call process and you're consistently closing 80 to 90% of your sales calls, I guarantee you are going to start to love them. So we need to make sure we have a really great lead generation process, and we need to make sure we're really good at closing high ticket sales. That's the first big shift when it comes to scaling to 20K months, having that high ticket offer and being able to sell it out. If you have a high ticket offer that is, let's say, $2,500 a month, and you have 5 people in there, we're already at $12,500 for the month. Now, let's say you don't want any more private clients. Let's say you are completely tapped out on your high ticket offer. That's when we move into the second shift, which is really key for moving to 20K months. And that is being able to scale into things like a group program or a course. So this is where we start to diversify our product suite. So we've capped out on our high level offer, our high ticket offer. Now is when we start to move into mid-level and low-level offers. So if you have completely sold out of your one-on-one or your highest done for you or whatever is your highest high ticket offer, now is when we start to move into mid-level and low-level. So it's going to be the exact same process. Transformation, process, structure. What could your mid-level offer be? What could your low-level offer be? Now, this is where we start to really go for volume as opposed to the price tag of the individual offer itself. So rather than trying to get 5 people into a 10K offer, we're trying to get 40 people into a 3K offer or $1,500 offer. And this is really going to be great for you and your business because you're not so dependent on one person to pay their invoice or your income drops. Now, if you are sitting pretty at 20K months because 5 people are paying you 4K a month and one person defaults on their payment that month, you've just lost 20% of your income. That's a huge hit. But if you have mid-level and low-level offers to supplement that and to spread out the amount of payments coming in, one person defaulting, two people defaulting is not going to be as much of a hit on your business. And if you want to kind of step away from the business a little bit, or maybe pull yourself out of the coaching side of it, you have something underneath you that scales with you and that supports you. So this is where things like group programs, courses, master classes, membership sites, one-off intensives, VIP days start to come into play. So we're diversifying our product suite. That's a really big second shift. We're starting to scale into additional offers. So if you have gotten away with having one or two offers, this is where we start to expand that into 3 or 4 offers. So really looking into bringing in group programs and courses in our business. In my business, I have my high level private coaching, which I only take maybe 1 or 2 private clients a year. I have my high level mastermind, which is $50,000 a year, and I have anywhere between 7 to 12 people in there at any given time. I have another high level mastermind called the Bali Mastermind, which is specifically designed to get people to 20K months. And I have maybe 20 or 25 people in that program. Then I have my accelerator program, which is 6 months to 10K months. And that one can have as many people as it possibly wants in there. So I can spend a lot of time on investing in webinars and funnels and things like that, getting people in there. And it's a $7,500 program or $1,250 a month. So again, that's a huge, huge offer and a huge opportunity for me to scale. I have multiple courses. I have 4 courses at the moment, and I have a membership site. So that's, 10 or 12 offers right there, not including my live events and one-off bundles and things like that. So all of those different offers work to support me because there's money coming in all the time from many different revenue streams. I'm not reliant on one client or one high level offer. I have expanded into many different things. Now, you don't need to have 10 or 12 offers, but let's maybe start with a high level offer, a mid level offer, and a low level offer. If you can hit those 3 tiers in your product suite, that will help you scale to 20K months. It is absolutely critical to start scaling your income. And the reason why it's also beneficial for you is it helps you scale your time. So if you have been reliant on private coaching to make your income, you're also limiting your impact. If you can find a way to get people amazing results in a group setting or even a do-it-yourself setting, you're going to be able to help so many more people because you're not limited to your time. At the end of the day, private coaching is still trading money for time. It's still trading dollars for hours, right? Just because they're paying you a lot of money doesn't mean that you're not beholden to trading that time for money. They could be paying you $2,000 an hour, but if that hour suddenly disappears, or if you only have 24 hours in a day, your income is capped. Even if it's a ton of money, your income is still capped. And so that's where things like group programs, courses, evergreen models really start to become your friends. So if you want to scale to 20K months, that is the second shift, scaling your offer into additional revenue streams like a group program or course. Our first shift was having a high ticket offer and selling it out. Our second one was scaling your offers into multiple different streams. And now the third shift to make in order to scale to 20K months is to find a way to fall in love with payment plans. Now, payment plans have given me so much anxiety back in the day. I remember I would absolutely hate payment plans because I would think someone's going to default. They are not going to complete their payment plan. This is going to be the worst thing ever, and I'm going to lose money. I used to absolutely hate payment plans. There were times where I didn't even offer payment plans. And this seems to be a trend that I'm noticing from a lot of people. Now, as I've scaled my business, I have definitely started to bring into place different things to prevent that. One of them is I have a company that I hired and outsourced my failed payment recovery to, and we have a very low failed payment rate to begin with, maybe 3 or 4%, and we recover almost all of them. It's very unlikely that someone doesn't complete their payment plan with us. However, my guess is that if you are hating payment plans and you think they're the worst thing ever, that you've probably had a bad experience. So one thing that's going to be really important here is that we not let that one bad experience or 2 or 3 project onto the decisions we make coming next, and that we don't let that ruin what's potentially possible for us as business owners who are trying to scale to 20K months or $250,000 a year. So here's how payment plans serve us. Payment plans create monthly recurring revenue. I love payment plans. I personally prefer payment plans over pay in full. In my business, I have started to de-incentivize pay in full. Usually there's a pay in full bonus. I try not to offer those so much anymore. Or if I do, it's going to be something that isn't going to take any of my time, like pre-recorded retrainings or maybe a mug or a journal or something like that. But it's not going to be this huge juicy bonus to encourage people to pay in full, because payment plans bring in money for my business over and over and over again. And I've already sold it once. I don't need to worry about it. There's someone else on my team who's bringing that money in, who's chasing after those payments. I have it on auto charge. So I'm auto charging people's cards. I'm not having to send out invoices to 300 people a month. So falling in love with payment plans is really going to serve your business, because it is going to eliminate that feast and famine cycle. A lot of times people might have one big month or maybe two big months anytime they have a launch. And it is absolutely normal to have a spike anytime you have a launch. Even I have that. I'll have ridiculously huge months after launches. When I had a lot of launches going on, I had my first $200,000 cash month, right? That was a huge month because there were launches going on. But I'm way happier making really consistently 100K, 140K, 150K a month without even having to think about it, with those payment plans just coming in, because that's what creates stability in my business. That's what allows me to have support all year long and not just whenever I have a big cash injection come in. So falling in love with payment plans will help you scale to 20K months. Now, when it comes to figuring out what should the payment plan for a program be, we have a lot of different options available. So for high ticket offers like private coaching or high level masterminds, I tend to prefer having a deposit first of maybe 15 to 20% of the offer. So if you join my Bali Mastermind, there is a small deposit at the beginning. And then after that, there is a monthly payment for 10 to 12 months. So that is something that I tend to recommend for high level offers. If you are doing mid-level offers or low level offers, I usually recommend a monthly payment plan. The only time I would do a bi-weekly payment plan is if it's something like a do-it-yourself course or a bundle that doesn't have any involvement from you. The reason for that is it's a lot harder to chase twice as many payments as it is to chase one monthly payment. So the reason why I like bi-weekly payments is because there's more money coming in all the time, and it's also a lower introductory price to hook people in. So you'll notice that my courses might be 6 weeks, but the payment plan is maybe 6 months. That's intentional. That's because I want that course to keep bringing in money for my business for months and months and months to come. And they do. And because the introductory payment is lower, the monthly payments or biweekly payments are lower, we do see a noticeable increase in enrollment numbers because more people are able to get started for that price point. And because we have it on auto charge and we have a team specifically dedicated to payment recoveries, we are able to capture and collect most of those payments. So it doesn't create a huge headache for us. So finding a way to fall in love with payment plans is going to be really essential for scaling your business to 20K months, so that you're not just a one-hit wonder having 1 or 2 big months and then freaking out the next month, but you have money coming in. This is something I teach my high-level mastermind clients to help them project and predict their income for the next 6 to 12 months. If you have an estimate of how many people you are going to sell into a particular program, and if you have an estimate of how many people will select the payment plan, you can actually project your income for the next X amount of time. If I know that I'm going to have 12 people in my high-level mastermind paying me $4,500 a month, I know for the next 12 months, I have 12 times 4,500. I can't do the math for you guys, maybe 50K or something like that, coming in every single month without me having to sell anything new. And then when I start to add on to that other offers, going back to that second shift, which is scaling to multiple streams, and then I start to add on my Bali Mastermind or my Accelerator or my Academy or Launch Baby Launch or all my other programs, that's when the money really starts to stack up. So that's why I love payment plans. They bring monthly recurring revenue into my business and they create stability. So that's the third shift for scaling to 20K months. Our fourth and final shift on how to scale to 20K months in your business is to hire support. Now, you cannot do this alone. And I'm not just talking about hiring a coach. For me, my team is absolutely essential to my success. I would not be able to do what I do without them. I just hired my 21st team member, and without them, I know that I would not be able to put out the amount of content that I do, serve the amount of clients that I do, keep up with the technical systems and back end of the things that we're doing every single day. We probably have 300 hours, 400 hours between all of us a week going into the business, if not more. That is huge. There are so many people coming together to make this happen, and I just don't have that amount of time. I'm 40 hours a week maximum, and I honestly work 15 to 20 hours a week. But let's say I was working 40 hours a week, I would need 10 of me to work as much in the business as I do, and that would just make me crazy, and that's not what I want at all. Y'all know that my approach to business is intentional, manageable, profitable. Starting with intentional, for me, my business, I'm not trying to work as much as I possibly can. I want to work smarter, not harder. I want to have a huge impact. I want to travel the world. That's why I'm kind of living nowhere at the moment. I'm recording this for you in London. Tomorrow I'll be in Florida. Last week I was in Scotland. A month ago I was in Rome. That's how I like to live my life. That's what works really well for me. So, with that intention in mind, I'm not going to be killing myself trying to fit every single role and fit into every single box that I need to for my business. I'm going to stay in my zone of genius and hire support. Now, when it comes to hiring support in your business, there are two types of people you can hire. You can either hire a generalist, who's going to be someone that does a little bit of everything. That tends to be your first hire, a VA who can do a little bit of everything. They can answer customer support emails, schedule out social media posts. Maybe they can help you schedule your coaching calls. That's a generalist. They do a little bit of everything. They are so important. Do not ever underestimate the importance of a generalist. Businesses would not be able to function without them. They're like the office manager who just knows everything that's going on. And if she's sick for a day, the business literally shuts down. The office breaks. Never underestimate the importance of a journalist. That's probably going to be your first hire. Now, the other type of person you can hire in your business is a specialist. Now, this is going to be someone who is really locked into their zone of genius, and that's what they do only. So that's going to be someone like a copywriter or a graphic designer or a Facebook ads manager. Now, specialists are incredible for scaling your business to 20K months because there are going to be some things that you need, but you're not necessarily great at, or they take you forever to do. For example, I can design a website. I designed my first ever website, and if I do say so myself, it looked pretty banging. But I literally took a year to build that thing, partly because it wasn't a huge priority for me, but also because it just took me a lot longer because I was learning how to do it completely myself from YouTube and Pinterest tutorials and things like that. So that just took me way too long. Now I have a developer on my staff. I also have a website designer on my staff, and they do all of that for me. I don't have to worry about it. Another really great specialist hire might be something like a copywriter. I am a great copywriter. I write all my own social media posts for the most part. Eventually or occasionally you'll see some here and there from my copywriter that are more promotional in nature. But it takes me a really long time to write a sales page, partially because I just get so in my head and I second guess everything. But I can outsource that to a copywriter. She'll get it done in 8 or 10 hours. She'll pass that off to the designer, who will pass it off to the developer. And within a week, I've got a sales page for a program. That makes it a lot easier for me to launch more quickly and to do more in my business because everyone is staying in their zone of genius, which supports me in staying in my zone of genius. As the business owner, there is something that only you can do. For me, that's coaching. Nobody else can do that. It's also the way I market and show up. I design the content strategy. I design the sales strategy. And that's all based on my coaching. That is based on my approach to life and business. That is infused in everything that we do. Intentional, manageable, profitable, my signature framework is infused in every single thing that we do. So that influences the way we design and develop and write for sure. But there's something only I can do, just like there's something only you can do. So figure out what that is, protect that, and then hire support outside of your zone of genius and with the help of maybe 1 or 2 little magical generalist elves, and they will help you get your business to 20K months. You don't need to go out tomorrow and hire 10 people onto your team, but make sure you have a really rock solid VA by your side. And if you're thinking about, launching a new program, maybe consider a copywriter or designer, or make sure that you also have a really amazing business coach by your side who will help you scale far faster than you ever could on your own. So let's go ahead and recap. Today we were talking about the 4 shifts to scaling to 20K months. The first one is having a high ticket offer and being able to sell it out. Super important. That is going to give you an amazing baseline of income that is on the higher level. And ideally, those are going to be soulmate clients. The second shift to scaling to 20K months is being able to scale to multiple different streams of income, multiple different offers. The third shift to scaling to 20K months is learning to fall in love with payment plans. I know it's hard, but you got to do it. It's going to serve you so much. And the fourth and final shift is hiring support. You cannot do it alone. If you are someone who is obsessed with control the way I am, release. Loosen your grip. It's going to be okay. This is going to help you get to your next level. Thanks for listening to the Sabrina Philipp podcast. New episodes are released every Wednesday. If you love this episode all about sales skills and you know it's time to take yours to the next level and you want 2020 to be the year that you make massive bank, then you're going to want to check out my new sales course called Sold Out Sales. This course is a live 6-week course that will take you from nobody buying to solidly and consistently closing sale after sale. It is open from March 5th through 18th for the one and only time in 2020. In this course, you're going to learn how to sell yourself on your value, who your ideal clients are and how to speak to them, how to structure your sales calls, how to filter your leads, why the fortune is in the follow-up, how to close like a boss in the DMs, how to develop your product suite, how to structure your offers, pricing strategies for charging what you're worth and raising your rates, and a million things more. You will walk away from Sold Out Sales with a complete and total sales system to take your life and business to the next level. And like all my online courses, you also have lifetime access. So if you ever need a refresher, you can always come back. So as I said, this course is only open for one time in 2020 from March 5th through 18th. Go to sabrinaphilipp.com/sold-out-sales to enroll. And all of the details are in the show notes down below. I would love to see you on the inside, and I'll catch you on next week's podcast episode.